Greetings, YouTube. I love tag type questions, and I found a list of questions from Gentleman's Gazette, which is 53 get to know you questions. So I thought I'd give them a try just for fun. I haven't really looked at these, so I have no idea what my answers are going to be. But it's an interesting page where you can see ads for things like $70 socks and $50 hankies, things that I will never ever need to purchase. I prefer Darn Tough socks. It's my favorite brand. They're wool and made in America and with a lifetime guarantee. So there you go. All right, so we're going to start out with the questions just for fun. These starter questions. Number one, what do you do when you're not working? I do this for the most part. Two, do you choose your professions or did it choose you? I don't have a profession really. I work in manufacturing. I don't like to consider that my profession. It's just what my job is, and I figure I just stumbled into it. Three, what would you do if you won the lottery? Besides becoming debt free and having the most rocking shop, I would become a full time maker of some variety, probably. Four, what is your favorite way to relax? YouTubing and watching YouTube videos, Let's Plays, ASMR, um, political things, and of course, watching movies and reading. Five, what is your favorite book to read? Now, this is interesting because I don't reread books often, but The Power of Myth and Hero with a Thousand Faces are two what I consider to be vastly important books. I don't read many books more than once. So that's interesting to me. What is your favorite book to read? Technically, if I go by the most times I've read it, After the Bomb second edition, I guess. Six, what makes you laugh the most? My wife. My wife makes me laugh the most. Seven, what is your favorite holiday? Halloween! Eight, what was the last book you read, movie you saw? I Am Number Four, I think, was the last movie. And the last book I finished was a book called Curry. Nine, what are your favorite TV shows? I don't watch television. 10. What is one thing you're glad you tried but would never do again? I tried but never do again. Hmm. Hmm. Marrying the wrong person? 11. What people come to you for help, what do they usually want help with? I get gaming questions, I get moral conundrums, I get questions about ethical considerations. I'm currently in a conversation with someone right today about what if something is immoral or not, and I get people talking to me about the divine. 12. Who's your go-to band or artist when you can't decide on something to listen to? I tend to have channels that like through Pandora, so I will probably just click on something that's bluesy or maybe Steve Earle, something like that. Um, as far as an artist, well, I guess they've banned their artists. Yeah. 13. What's something you like to do the old-fashioned way? Old-fashioned way? Hmm. That's a good question. I love power tools. I can't say you do that. I make things without power tools. I have made things without power tools, but I prefer to use power tools. So I think the old-fashioned way. I'm not really sure if there's many things I do the old-fashioned way now that I think about it. I like technology. Then again, my definition of technology is really, really broad. So maybe I do things the old-fashioned way. I just don't consider that because anything above a stone tool is pretty advanced as far as I'm concerned. Um, 14. What is something you have only recently formed an opinion about? Huh. Recently formed an opinion about. That's a great question. I've been a feminist for a while. I've been an LGBTQ advocate, an ally for a while. So the T part is something I've only really gotten behind quite recently. So maybe transgender issues. Um, 15. What are your interests in that most people haven't heard of? Most of my interests no one else has heard of. I like collecting knives and gaming and making weapons as a hobby. So yeah, lots of them. 16. What is something you think everyone should do at least once in their lives? At least once in their lives? They think they should make something. 17. What is something that people are obsessed with, but you just don't get the point of? Professional sports. 18. Where is the most interesting place you've been? The most interesting place I've been? I don't know. I mean, I could say like Fort Independence because that was really cool. Edward Gorey's house, maybe? 19. What is the luckiest thing that has happened to you? I found my wife. 20. What is your biggest pet peeve with modern technology? That the concept of a intuitive interface or an intuitive function. Bullshit. Intuitive means this works like something you've used before. And if you've never used something like that before, it isn't intuitive. 21. What object have you been searching for with no luck? I want to find a cricket bat while bargain hunting. 22. What social customs do you wish would just disappear? Thank you notes. 23. What quirky things do people do where you are from? I live in Manchester, New Hampshire, and for some strange reason, we are trapped in the friggin' 80s. 24. What or who would you haunt if you were a ghost? If I were a ghost, I would haunt so many Republican politicians. So many. Now we get into some deeper questions, so let's see what these are all about. 1. What gets you out of bed every day? Now, someone with a sarcastic sense of humor might say the alarm clock. This question is intended to reveal a person's deep motivations in life. What gets me out of bed every day? My responsibilities, I guess. 2. What do you value in a friendship? Honesty and openness. 3. What do you say more often in life? Yes or no? Probably no. 4. What is on your bucket list? I really don't have a bucket list, but I guess I would like to stand on Hadrian's Wall someday. 5. What would you tell your teenage self if you could go back in time? That kind of time travel question, I think, is really, really unhealthy because it makes you have regrets and things. I'm just not going to worry about it. 6. What is the hardest part about raising children? Got no friggin' idea. It's why I don't want to be a parent, because I know it's hard. What do you wish was different about modern parenting? That they had to be trained first. 8. What gets you fired up? So many things. But injustice would probably be the broadest category. 9. What mistakes do you keep making again and again? I tend to forecast. And if you have anxiety and you're trying to get rid of it, you know what that means. What have you created that you are most proud of? The most healthy relationship I've ever had. Not saying it's perfect, but it's the best one I've ever had. What's the best thing you got from your parents? My love of reading. 12. What's one responsibility you really wish you didn't have? Money. 13. What's the best and worst thing about getting older? You actually do learn stuff, and you make fewer mistakes in some regards, but I physically can't do the things that I did when I was younger. And I hurt in ways that I didn't hurt when I was younger. And it doesn't go away. 14. What chance encounter changed your life forever? Going to a poetry reading group with my ex and seeing a blonde-haired woman stand up and speak. And the first time I heard her voice, I lost my heart. Life is complex sometimes. 15. What do you regret not doing? Learning to dance when I was younger. 16. Do you believe in second chances? Yes, I do. 17. Do you want to retire to live or live to retire? Since I may be lucky and retire at 70, I'm just going to retire to live, maybe? I don't know. I'm going to keep doing what I got to do to keep going. I don't have long-term plans, apparently, like a lot of gentlemen do. 18. What are some things you wish you could unlearn? There's a litany of darkness in my skull I wish I could exercise. 19. What do you wish your brain was better at doing? Not being anxious. 20. What or who couldn't you live without? I'd like to think I would survive the loss of my wife, but I'm not sure I would. 21. What do you feel the most? When do you feel the most confident? When I've accomplished a good making process. 22. If a crystal ball could tell you anything about your future, what would you want to know? A lottery ticket number. 23. If you could change one personal decision in your past, what would that be? Again, that kind of looking backward process is not healthy in my opinion. What goal you're working on now? Becoming a better person, being less anxious, and not letting my PTSD control me. 25. What scares you about the future? Abandonment. 26. When was the last time you cried? I almost cried at work yesterday because I was so frustrated while doing something, but I don't remember the last time I cried. 27. Do you believe people are at the whim of destiny or they can create it themselves? Yes. 28. Who is someone that you miss having in your life? My grandmother, Hilda. 29. What questions do you always want to ask people but don't have the courage to ask? Are you the parent that you always wanted to have as a child? So there you go. These are questions about getting to know you. And I rambled on for 12 minutes answering them. So if you'd like to answer them, I'll put a link to the questions so you can go look at them on the Gentleman's Gazette page. It seems very retro on this. All the people wearing very white upper class clothing and driving sports cars and looking like they probably play polo. Not my set, if you know what I mean. But go look at the Get to Know Me tags and see if we can get to know each other.